Hi everyone, it's Karen Bentley with the Recovery Superpower channel, where we revolutionize, redefine, and rejuvenate the entire recovery process, and we do it together. That's what makes it so exciting, so energizing, so creative, so innovative. So thank you so much for finding your way to this channel. I'm really grateful you're here today. And we're going to be talking about a particularly edgy, woo-woo, taboo topic. And it is, ta-da-ta-da, what happens when you die? Are we reincarnated or not? And how does reincarnation link to dependencies, if at all? But before we get to this exciting topic, I'd like to remind you that I'm the author of this fantastic book, The Power to Stop. It's a 30-day program for ending any dependency, or alternatively, it's 30 great ideas for stopping yourself. And you can get it at Amazon or any bookstore, and I'll put a link in the description below. So check it out if you think it'll be helpful. And now back to our topic of reincarnation, or what happens when you die. I'm going to break this down into 4 subtopics, which is 1, what is reincarnation? And 2, how does reincarnation link to dependencies, if at all? And 3, what are the 3 most popular, prevalent reasons that scholars think that we reincarnate? And 4, how can we put these ideas about reincarnation to use in our everyday life right now to make them happier, easier, more functional? And maybe we can use these ideas for plan B, a contingency plan. What if there really is reincarnation? So first off, what is it? And it comes from a Latin word, incarnare, which means to make flesh, plus another word, a short one, re, which means again. So you put re and incarnare together, and you get a word that sounds very much like reincarnate. And it literally means to make flesh again, to make a body again. And that's pretty much what reincarnation is. You have one bodily experience, and then the body dies, and you have another bodily experience, and that body dies, and then you have another bodily experience, and that body dies. That is what reincarnation is about. It's based on the concept that there's something real about us, something eternal, something divine that is inside us, and that is the spirit, the soul, the God self, the Christ self, the Buddha self, whatever you want to call it. There's something divine inside us that is eternal, that does not die, and that is recycled into other bodies. So that is reincarnation in a nutshell. About 40% of the world's population believes in reincarnation. This is probably because major world religions like Hinduism and Buddhism embrace reincarnation as part of their belief system, whereas here in America, in the United States, only about 20% of the people believe in reincarnation. And this is probably because the United States is predominantly Christian, and the Christian belief system does not embrace reincarnation. In the Christian belief system, it's a one and done life. You have a life, you die, you either go to heaven or you go to hell, or you go to limbo or you go to purgatory, and that is it. So I personally am open to the concept of reincarnation, but I'm not here to persuade you one way or the other, or to convince you. I'm just here to share this idea with you and to make it known. So if you're already squirming in your seat and this is making you uncomfortable, or if you find it objectionable or heresy, this is your chance to escape and click out. Otherwise, let's get on to the second topic, which is reincarnation related to dependencies or addictions? And the short answer is yes. And why is that? Well, it's simple karma. Karma is the law of cause and effect. And you have not done any cause to change the effect of your dependency. If you die with your addiction in place, or your dependency in place, or your behavior in place, it is going to continue because you haven't done anything to stop it, to slow it down, or to amend it in any way. And in fact, some people believe that the longer we hold on to our dependencies from lifetime to lifetime, the stronger they become, because the belief gets really entrenched and settled in our brains that you need this thing, this substance, this behavior to be happy, and you need it. And you really invest a lot of energy in that belief that you're going to be so unhappy or so lost without it. And your behaviors get stronger and more self-destructive, and that it's just a spiral of downwardness from one life to another until you choose to change it. So that's the bad news. The good news is you can change it and be done with it. Many people think that death is the answer, that, you're going to be in peace when you die, or that you're going to solve the problem when you die. And that's just simply not true. Everything happens in life. Nothing happens in death. Death is nothing but a layover. Everything that you can do to improve your situation happens in your life experience. That's where you can effect the change. If you do nothing, you're already having the experiment of slowly killing yourself day by day. And that is not working, right? It hasn't worked. It doesn't make things better. It just leads nowhere. And so the full experiment, where you actually die with your dependency intact, doesn't work either. You have to do the change with your life energy. That's where the change happens. Otherwise, it just carries over. At least that's the belief with reincarnation. So good news is what's real about us is eternal. Bad news, what's not real about us, this dependency, carries over until you decide you can live without it. The third thing I want to talk to you about is the three most popular prevalent reasons that people think we reincarnate. And the first one, and the most potent one, is the idea that we think we can separate from God, and the idea that we want to separate from God because we want the experience of specialness. When we are in heaven, we are one with all. We are one with all our other brothers and sisters. We are not separate. We are not different. We are not special. We are one with our brothers and sisters and with God. And God shines His love on us in heaven and here on earth in a way that is not special. It's like the sun. It shines on everyone, every being, everything. And so it doesn't matter if you're living like Charles Manson or Mother Teresa. God's love still shines. There's nothing that can turn it off. There's nothing that can change it. There's nothing that can make it spill out by degrees. Charles Manson just gets a little, and Mother Teresa gets it all, and the people who are in the middle get it intermittently based on whether or not they're behaving. No, that's not how it works. God's love is God's love. It's unconditional. It shines all the time, and we can't carve out more for it for ourselves. But we can have the dream that we can get more love for ourselves. We can have the dream that we can be special, that we can be apart, that we can be different, that we can be better. And that is the dream that we're having, and that is the reason that we want to incarnate into a body. Many spiritual beliefs say that this is, just a dream experience. We're having this, we're creating it ourselves. We're creating this hologram. But the lure of being special is extremely potent. So, for example, who doesn't want to have a special love experience? a special significant other, a special family experience, a special friend experience. And I'm not judging any of these things or saying they're bad. I'm just saying that in heaven, nobody is special. And here on earth, we all crave specialness. We can end marriages because people don't treat us in a special way, the way that we want to be treated. So, we want to be special in love. We want to be special in ways that we make money or spend it. We want to be, or even special not having money and being homeless. We want to be special with our things. We want to be special with our education and how many degrees we have or what specialties we have. What, what can we carve out for ourselves as an expertise? We want to be special with our friends, with our talents, with writing and dancing and singing. And again, I'm not saying any of these things are bad or wrong. I'm just saying that we use everything to draw special attention to ourselves. And that is the reason we choose to have this separate life experience where we can keep changing bodies until we get it the way we want it. And trying different things, what works the best. And the lure of specialness is very potent. I will tell you that. The second reason that we're having this reincarnation experience is that many people think that we're here in Earth School. And the purpose of Earth School is to become more godlike, to rise our vibration or our awareness, our consciousness to a higher level than most humans have, meaning that we're aware of what we say and do, and we do that consciously. It's very hard to be aware of what you say and do. And that we act in harmless, loving ways, that we are more tolerant, more forgiving, more compassionate, more willing to serve others, and that when we have completed this roster of earth lessons, when we have raised our vibration or raised our awareness enough, we are enlightened, or our mind is completely enlightened, and then we join with God. But until then, we're here in Earth School taking remedial lessons or first lessons or advanced lessons. And that, I would say, is probably the most popular idea, that this is Earth School. And it can be really helpful to think that, we're doing something to reconnect with God, to remember our connection with God, to be inspired by that, to be motivated by that. It's hard enough to get yourself to do something, and you have to use what you can. And that's a really useful tool to use for yourself, and you might try it out if you haven't considered it. And the third reason, I saved it for last because it's really quite a dark reason and a little creepy. And I don't mean to creep you out, but I might a little bit, because it's the idea that we're not in Earth School, we're in Earth Prison. And we are here as energy slaves, where our energy is really a kind of battery charger or food for some, I'll just say alt force, that I don't know what it is, but it's some other force that likes to use our extreme energy states for its sustenance. And by that I mean fearfulness, hate, anger, guilt, confusion, war, conflict, sadness, depression, hopelessness, despair. That alt force feeds on those kind of energies, and that we are here, and that force is creating situations constantly that create those emotions on us so that we feed it. We're like the junk food. And too bad it's us. But that's the basic idea, that we're slaves, we're energy slaves, and just a farm system. And so how can we break out of that? Why do we have to keep being reincarnated back into slavery? This is my own idea, and but it just seems to fit for me. It's the idea of specialness and slavery sort of work together for me, meaning that why would we put ourselves in bondage? Well, we might so that we can be special. We might be a willing slave so that we can have a special experience, a special love experience, a special distinction experience, so that we can pretend we're separate and, different. That's the message we get in our world. You're special. You're different. There's nobody like you. There'll never be anyone who fills your shoes. There'll never be another you. We all believe that. We all buy into it. It's pretty much the party line everywhere. And so maybe that's the bargain. We get to be special, and in return, we give away this energy that sustains some other entity. So I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just putting it out there. I've done quite extensive reading on this topic, and I find it quite fascinating myself. I hope you do too. But so how can we use this edgy information to make our lives better? And well, one reason is that the whole idea of slavery. Once you free yourself from a dependency or a behavior or an addiction, you know something about how to get yourself free. You have a mind map of the process. You know that freedom is possible. And you have accumulated some personal power in your journey to become free. The energy that's contained in your unwanted behavior that was previously being wasted gets stored inside you and makes you powerful, makes you strong. And this strength makes your life work better. It just does. You know how to make things happen for yourself, and you know how to make yourself happy, and to ask for what you want, and to just be more co-creative in your world rather than being a victim of the world. So you know something about freedom, and you have acquired some strength, and maybe that gives you the wherewithal to stop giving your freedom away for specialness. Maybe that idea creeps into you that you can use this for other worldly purposes in addition to your current everyday life. Just putting it out there for what it's worth. Along that line, if that is something that sounds interesting to you, you can do an experiment with specialness. This is just a suggestion. You don't have to do it, but it's an idea for seeing what this is about. So, for example, you can treat stopping yourself as a non-special, ordinary event and see how that works for you. What if you didn't make a big deal about it? What if you refused to talk about it? What if you didn't draw attention to it? What if you didn't talk about it or give advice unless you were directly asked to do that? What if you just treated it like the nothing that it is, which is really what all dependencies are? They're really not real. What would happen? How would that affect you? That would be your little experiment into letting go, taking a little chip out of the special armor that we all wear. So consider that as a possibility. And lastly, the idea that this is Earth School can be very helpful because there is no lesson more important to learn than the lesson that you've been living a lie. And the lie is that you need some substance, something, some behavior, some person who doesn't treat you well, that you need this thing to be happy and to be whole and to get through life. So that's a big lie, and you've been living it and believing it, and it's not true. And what lesson could be more important than that? What lesson would God want you more to learn than that? That is not real. That's not you. It's just a behavior that you formed an attachment to. It's just a preference. It's nothing, which is why you can treat it like nothing. So, by buying into the earth school concept, you you're doing something wholesome for yourself, and you might also be ascending your energy if you think that's what happens, and positioning yourself for a, a, a more elevated reincarnation experience, or a reun going to heaven if you don't think that you're having another reincarnated life, and that's how it's helpful to you. So I hope you found this interesting, at least, maybe useful, maybe not. Either way, I would love to have a conversation with you. Please leave your comments below. I will read them and answer them. And if you like this, hit that like button. It'll help me out a lot. And if you'd like me to show up on your homepage when you go to YouTube, subscribe and I'll be there the next time I have a video. I try to put out at least one a week. And until then, bye for now.